Hello everyone, Gis from Metalchaos Studio here. Welcome back to the second painting session on the Blacksmith Forge from Tabletop World. In this painting session, I'll be painting the plaster, the window, and the metal on the door. And by the end of the video, I'll have a surprise for you. Alright, so for the plaster, I selected two Ripper MSP colors, Vampiric Shadow and Winter Blue. I'll be painting the wall on the door side in Winter Blue. So let's get started. I'll paint 3 of the wall with Vampiric Shadow. I'm holding the model with a glove so I will not leave sweat on the surface. Also, I'm painting the surface with the side of the brush, not to leave too much paint in the cracks and recesses. I think the best way to avoid touching the elements that are already painted when you paint the plaster is to start by painting all around those elements, like in this case the wooden elements, the floor, the timber, and the window frame. So I use a smaller brush to paint all around, and then I use a bigger brush to cover the rest of the surface. As I mentioned in previous videos, I use a brush with a bent tip to reach under the window and in every hard to reach corners. Also, for a better brush control, I put one of my finger on the model to be in contact, so when I move with the model. It's much easier not to shake when both of your hands are in contact with the model. I do the same on the wall on the door side and paint it in winter blue. As you can see, the surface doesn't need to be perfectly painted, as I will add shade and highlight after. Then I mix equal part of the Army Painter Quick Shade light tone, dark tone, and mixing medium to shade all the walls. When the shade is dry, I use the dry brushing technique to highlight the center of each wall with the base color. When the surface is too smooth, the tapping technique can be used to create textures. Next, I mix white with the base coat color for the final highlight. I use the dry brushing or the tapping technique to create textures. At this point I'm going to start painting the window. I apply a bluish gray base coat in all the glass squares. When the paint is dry, I apply Citadel Seraphim Sepia shade in all the windows. Now that the shade is dry, I really like the result. But since the shutters are closed on this window, I will add Citadel Agrax Earth shade on those glass squares. I will also use the same shade to create watermarks on the wall. I also like to add mold on some of the walls. Here I'm using khaki and pale lichen. Here's the result. I will now use Reaper MSP Dragon Black to paint the metal, as well as Muddy Brown and Pale Orange to create rust. And finally I will use Orange Rust pigment to create rust effect. Alright, if you made it this far, you really deserve a bonus. I'm gonna add a special ornament on this wall. If you watch my previous video on gilding, you may know what's coming. I'm gonna paint the shield and gild the lion with 24 karat gold leaves. I start by applying brush on primer everywhere on the shield except on the lion. Then I paint over the primer with the color I selected. It's a Ripper MSP Sapphire Blue. I completely painted the shield in blue, now I will leave the paint to dry. Then I will apply the gilding paste that takes 15 minutes to cure before I can apply the gold leaves. I was asked if it's expensive to gild a miniature. In fact, it's about 50 cents for a leaf, so it's about $50 for 100 leaves. And depending on the surface you need to cover, you may need maybe 10 leaves for a mini. So in this case here I will probably just need one leaf, so it will be like 50 cents to gild the shield. I'd like to mention that this shield comes from Ripper Miniature Weapon Pack 4 and that it was sculpted by Werner Clark. The paint must be dry now, so I will apply the gilding paste. If you have any comment or question, feel free to leave me a message in the comment section. I had to work off camera because the product is so liquid. I wanted to make sure that I will apply it properly. My thoughts about the gilding paste is that it's hard to apply at a specific location. It's much easier if I gild the entire mini. I will now apply a gold leaf. Put the leaf in place and tap gently on the surface. I start to see the lion. The leaf is supposed to go off wherever there is no paste. Like here on the back leg there is no gold leaf, so I will take a small piece and try to put it back in there. So you see, I didn't even need a complete leaf. The excess, just brush and push gently. bad. Since I will repaint the side of the shield, I will do a test and try to remove the gold leaves here to see if it's very hard. As you can see, it's solid. There is many places that there is gold, and I will have to repaint like here. It's recommended to leave the gilding paste set for 3 days before applying a sealer. I repainted the area of the shield where I didn't want gold with brush on primer, and then I applied 2 coats of blue paint. I will now apply a gloss varnish all over the shield. I try not to press at all and just let the varnish flow, so I will not tear off the gold leaves. I will now leave the sealer set for about 30 minutes. Okay, moment of truth here. I'm gonna apply Citadel Agrax Earthshade all over the shield. It looks really nice. I'm gonna let it set for 30 minutes. I think it looks fantastic. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you haven't joined the channel yet, consider subscribing. There will be more surprises like this in the future. So that's all for today's session. Until next time, keep on painting and take care.